I am Ruchira Mukherjee. In my last video, I had told you about Darwin's voyage started on 27th December 1831 and ended on 2nd October 1836. Today I will tell you about Darwin's observations during the voyage, which helped Darwin to propose the theory of evolution. During long voyage, Darwin made many observations that helped him form his theory of evolution. He visited tropical rainforests and other new habitats where he saw many plants and animals he had never seen before. Darwin collected fossils. And several specimens of organisms that he found on Galapagos. The specimens and fossils helped him to study and compare forms of present organisms with those of the past. He observed armadillo of the past were larger in size than those of the present. These are the armadillos. This is the armadillo of past and this is armadillo of present. On comparing these two, he found that armadillo of past were of large size as compared to armadillo of present. So he thought armadillos had changed over time. Darwin studied samples of seawater and observed change among the microscopic forms of life. Even he observed food chains in forests and mountains of South America. He found chains and food webs everywhere. He observed predator fed on the prey. From this predator and prey relationship, he reached to the conclusion. There is a struggle for life everywhere. There is struggle for life everywhere. Either kill or die. Those able to survive live on. He found fossils of aquatic organisms on the mountains of South America. There he experienced an earthquake. The ocean level rose to nearly 3 meters due to the earthquake. He reached to the conclusion that sudden severe changes may occur on islands or in the ocean over time. Darwin observed that slow and continuous changes on the earth could also bring about changes in landforms on earth. Darwin studied the finches, sparrow-like birds on Galapagos Island. Darwin had studied nearly 15 finch species. He observed there were some similarities as well as differences in their beaks and coat colors. Ecuador was the main land of finches groups. Finches started thriving in different environment of different islands of Galapagos. Variations in beaks appeared to correspond to the variations in the type of available food resources. Some finches ate insects and worms, while others survived on the nectar of the flowers, on the buds of the flowers, seeds of the flower, seeds and fruits and lower parts of cactus. So Darwin remarked that structural variations in beak were related to their functional variations. Variations in the beak were related to their functional variations. Means structures of the beak change due to their food habit or food intake, food available to them. So structural variations in beak were related to their functional variations. Characters such as type of beaks in finches had diversified structurally and functionally. Beaks of finches which had diversified structurally and functionally from the same original type are called as homologous characters. Darwin had considered these as very strong evidences of evolution. Now students, these characters found in finches are called as homologous organs. Now, homologous organs. What are homologous organs? Organs which have same fundamental structures but different in functions. See here, see in the diagram. Wings of birds and hands of human. Wings of birds and hands of human. You can see their fundamental structure is same but their function is different. Wings are used for flying whereas hands are used for various works. Now students, I will tell you about some homologous characters in plants. In these diagrams, in these pictures given in figure 8, you see this is stolon stem, this is stem tendril, this is stem tuber and this is stem thorn. The function of stolon stem is reproduction. Tendril is for climbing, tuber for storage and thorn for protection. Here the structure is same but their functions are different. So these are homologous organs. Now students, see figure 8b. Some homologous characters in animals is given here. You can observe wings of bat, the flippers of dolphin and seal, the forelimb of sheep and dogs, as well as hands of human and mice. In birds, wings are used for flying. In bats also used for flying. But in dolphin and seal, these organs are used for swimming. In dog and sheep, it's for running, and in human and mole, hands are used for catching. In this way, you have seen about homologous organs. I will once again give you the definition of homologous organs and will give some more examples. Homologous organs are similar in structure but different in functions. The four limbs of amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals have similar structures but different functions. Frog is an amphibian, uses its forelimb to raise the front part of the body. Lizard, reptile, uses its forelimb for walking and running. Birds' forelimbs are modified as wings for flying. Mammals use the forelimbs for grasping, walking, running, swimming, flying, etc. This shows evolutionary relationship. Now students, I want to tell you about analogous organs. We have seen about homologous organs. Now we will see about analogous organs. Analogous organs are those organs which are similar in function but different in their structure. What we have seen in homologous characters, organs? In homologous organs, functions were different but the structures were same. But in analogous organs, functions are similar but their structure is different. Organs which similar functions but different in their structure, such as you can see in example wings of insects and wings of birds. Some more examples. Again, homologous organs which are different in structures but similar in functions. The wings of butterfly and bat have different structures but their function is similar. These wings are used for flying. This shows evolutionary relationship. Now students, we will see about Darwin's theory. Darwin's theory. See, Darwin's theory can be described like this. Within any population, there is a natural variation. Some individuals have more favorable variations than others. Even though all species produce large number of offsprings, population remain fairly constant naturally. This is due to the struggle between members of the same species and different species for food, space, and mate. The struggle for survival within populations. The struggle for survival within population eliminates the unfit individuals. The fit individuals possessing favorable variations survive and reproduce. This is called natural selection. The individuals having favorable variations pass on these variations to their progeny from generations to generations. These variations, when accumulated over a long period of time, lead to the new species. Now, there is a word species. What is species? You can see what are species. Species were considered to be those groups of organisms even during Darwin's time that could sexually interbreed and produce offsprings that could sexually interbreed and produce offsprings that were viable, meaning having the ability to reproduce. Viable means having the ability to reproduce. The definition of species on the basis of their availability to interbreed sexually is considered as a biological species concept. So students, in my video today, I have told you about observations of Darwin's theory, homologous characters, analogous characters, and what is species. So students, you have to read the lesson carefully and go through the whole lesson carefully. Thank you for listening. Thank you once again.